네, 안녕하십니까. 시민참여센터의 이민자 보호 법률 대책위의 최영수 변호사입니다. 오늘 제가 굉장히 귀한 분을 한번 소개시키고 이려고 지금 나왔습니다. 저희 시민참여센터에 많은 그 어떤 도움을 주시고 계시고요. 그다음에 우리 커뮤니티를 뛰어넘어서 우리 유태인 커뮤니티하고 한국 커뮤니티를 연결하는 또 귀한 손님입니다. 사실 팬데믹 이후로 아시안에 대한 범죄가 굉장히 늘어났습니다. 그래서 그런 것들을 굉장히 안타깝게 생각하시고, 그래서 여기 우리 나오신 분의 부인이신 닥터 김하고 같이 우리 시민참여센터를 도와서 효과적으로 이 아시안 혐오 범죄를 좀 대처하고 그리고 공유하는 그런 프로그램을 지금 도와주고 계십니다. 지금 제가 소개하실 분은 닥터 데이비드 번스타인이고요. 우리 노스쇼에서 병원에 계시는데요. 오늘 한번 말씀을 나누고 그리고 우리가 어떻게 이 사태에 대해서 함께 협력을 하고 그다음에 또 우리가 유태인 커뮤니티에서 어떻게 하는지 뭐 그런 것도 한번 들어보고 그런 시간을 가지려고 합니다. Dr. David Bernstein, thanks for coming to Korean community. It's really an honor to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right.
It's an honor to be here. Yes.
Thank you. Can you introduce yourself to Korean community?
Sure. So, my name is Dr. David Bernstein. I am a gastroenterologist that specializes in liver disease, and I work at Northwell Health and run the liver division across the 23 hospital system, mostly based in Manhasset. I do, at that occupation, run the division, take care of patients, and also do a lot of teaching, writing, and research. My partner, who isn't here, is Dr. Helen Kim, my wife, who's equally involved in all of this. She's also a physician who works for the New York City Department of Health as a lung specialist, currently in Queens. And I grew up on Long Island. I have been in this community almost my whole life, except for when I went down south to train, both in Baltimore and in Miami. And I've really seen a significant change in what's happened on Long Island over the past 50 years, and I'd say that as positive change. And so it's just a pleasure to be here. But that's sort of my background, if you will.
Thank you, Dr. Bernstein. 우리 닥터 번스틴은 지금 노쇼에 아주 중책을 맡고 계신 분이고요. 부인께서 닥터 헬렌 킴이라고 한국 분이십니다. 그래서 우리가 아시안 범죄에 대한 이게 많이 문제가 됐을 때에 사실은 이 코리안 커뮤니티에서는 아무 어떤 특별하게 요청한 적이 없는데 두 분께서 특별히 마음을 쓰셔가지고 우리 시민참여한테 연락을 오셨습니다. 그래서 함께 지금 같이 일한 지가 벌써 6개월 넘었네요. How do you get to know the Korean community case and how you express your interest in collaborating with the Korean community in this matter?
So with all that has been going on around us, with the rise in anti-Asian violence, bigotry, it bothered me tremendously to just sit around and do nothing. I think silence is just deadly, and if we don't speak up, then we are complicit in all that is going on. And so I tried to find, my wife is Korean, so I tried to find a group that we could work with, who we could help, but really at a ground level. We were looking for a type of organization that really would help the people, right? Because just giving money to a large organization where you don't see the fruit of what that money does isn't what I want. We wanted to try to make a difference locally, because this is where we are. I spoke with one of my colleagues, Dr. Angela Kim, who's an infectious disease specialist at North Shore. And she asked her father, who turns out to be one of the folks who are involved in CASE. And so I give her the credit of introducing us.
I see.
She's given me permission to say that. But I think that it's very important that she was able to make that connection, and we're thrilled to be able to help in any small way that we can.
It's absolutely our pleasure to have you. I mean, we don't have much collaboration with other communities, but it's really, really special to us as well.
Yeah, I think our communities are quite similar. I'm going to put myself in the Jewish community for the moment. And I can say, having now been married almost 30 years, that the Jewish community and thought process is really quite similar to the Korean thought process. Both stress family, both stress education, both stress hard work, both tend to be somewhat quiet but yet successful in what they do. And both tend to shy away from controversy. And so to be able to, and of course, the Jewish population has been a victim for a long time of severe and horrid hatred, violence, and what we're seeing now across this country is a tremendous rise in anti-Semitism, both here in New York area and across. And so we're a little bit better versed in on how to deal with it, because unfortunately we've had to deal with it our whole lives. I think the Korean community is not. I think the Korean community sort of believed in the American dream. I come here and I work hard and I do well and my children do well and people will leave me alone. And that's the way it should be. But unfortunately, for over the past 1 to 2 years, we're finding out that the hatred and intolerance is just under the surface. So I think allowing us as the Jewish community to work with the Korean community and others to give some advice on our experiences, to collaborate, to work together, because hatred against any group is just horrible and should be unacceptable. And once again, silence is the worst thing one can do. You know, you can't sit here and think that will go away. That's what happened in Nazi Germany, where they just slaughtered all these people who just didn't believe it was happening and couldn't happen to them. Well, it can happen to you. And if we don't speak up and take action, we're going to be worse off for it. So it's really very happy to collaborate, very happy to introduce you to other folks in our communities who have been involved. There are lots of organizations like the UJA and others that have been doing this now for 50, 80 years. And I think it's a natural collaboration because the goals are the same.
Okay, we've been studying Jewish community, how
Yes.
they, contribute the community, and utilizing, advocacy, and a lot of communication with other, other community. So it's, very valuable for us to have you and your community get involved. Since we've been, as a, advocacy group, we've been studying APEC. And we've been trying to learn how Jewish community has been coping with this kind of anti discrimination issues. So but since you come forward and join our effort in this fight to eliminate and at least address the anti Asian hate crimes. We appreciate that.
No, thank you. See, I think it all starts with the people who are listening. And the people who are listening can't just listen, they actually then have to get involved. And what has the Jewish community done is they've really banded together. They've raised money. Those that have more money gave more, those that have less gave less, but they were all in sort of a cause together to advocate, to go to the elected officials, to go to the people who make decisions, to go to the newspapers, to make sure that the voices are heard. The nice thing about this country is your voices can be heard. So you need to speak up, and people change policies. If you don't go to the folks who can change the rules, it never gets done. And so we all need to work together, because at the end of the day, we're really all the same, no matter what we look like, what our religion are, or anything else. But we need to work together to fight this tide of hatred, which is just horrendous.
Okay, we learn to speak up and speak out,
Yes.
as Dr. Bernstein kindly share his experience and Jewish community experience. We're looking forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
Years ahead, and thank you so much for donating. And
That's our pleasure. It's very easy to give money, but what we need to do is get involved.
Okay.
That's more important than money. Money helps drive things, but we need people just to get involved.
Right.
And then the money will come, but get involved.
Right. We all at CASE and the Korean community really appreciate you and Dr. Kim for collaboration and continued support. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bernstein.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.